Hey, football fans, welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we gather around and talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have some more stuff to talk about ahead of this Cowboys game on Thursday, so let's jump into the video. But beforehand, if you're not already and you've been enjoying the content you have been seeing, please go subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and I'd love for everyone who's been watching these videos to be a part of that journey with me, so if you haven't, make sure you go do that. But let's get into the video. Starting off with practice updates, I got a couple, well, not a couple, I got a handful of players who, we got some participation updates on them, starting with Taylor Decker, who did not practice today. Kirby Joseph, also a not practice. Khalif Raymond, not practice. Penny Sewell did not practice. Brock Wright did not practice. Graham Glasgow was limited at practice, as well as Brian Branch. So our tight end situation is a mess right now, right? Our backups out, our starters out, our third string is out. We're really just relying on like practice squad guys and free agency signings right now to hold up that end of our offense. But Taylor Decker and Penny Sewell both not practicing today is a little scary. They did have limited practice the day before on Monday, but that just goes to show that they're not 100%, right? Do I think they're going to play Thursday? Absolutely. Do I think the missing practices bodes well for us in terms of pass protection? Probably not. Khalif Raymond being out also sucks right now because St. Brown is still, we don't know. Kirby Joseph not practicing sucks, even though he did get some reps in on Monday. But at least Glasgow was getting reps, and not having our starting center last week was definitely lacking. And it's good to at least have our fill-in guy go to work. Sewell not practicing is concerning. And finally, Dan Campbell's primarily focus on his team's performance that he was asked about. He said that their primary focus right now is winning their upcoming game, cleaning up self-inflicted mistakes such as penalties and those fourth down conversions. So that's been the main focus at practice these last few days, has been cleaning up those kind of errors. Following the recent loss where the Lions struggled with self-inflicted errors, going 0 for 5 in fourth down conversions, Dan Campbell is really pushing for greater, quote, detail and discipline, end quote. He's looking for the team to play their brand of football for 60 minutes and improve the execution in critical moments, which really has been lacking this season. With center Frank Ragnow out for the rest of the season with a hamstring injury, a significant focus has also been adjusting the offensive line. Campbell has been working with backup Tristan Colon and the line to ensure they can handle the new dynamic and improve their run game, which really is what we do best. And it's honestly struggled recently. A lot of what Gibbs has been doing, credit to him, credit to the O-line, but a lot of what he's been doing has been kind of on his own, and getting some more help from the O-line, which was really our biggest strength last year, is going to be huge for our offense going forward in the next few weeks, especially when we need to win these games. But that's what I have on practice updates. I will let you guys know if I hear anything else later. Next, we have updates from players we've talked about, and I think that's going to start with St. Brown. We talked about St. Brown in the last video, him not really knowing what his return schedule is going to look like, but he spoke with the media on Tuesday, and it sounds like he really still doesn't know what his status is going to be for this primetime game. He said, quote, "I'm not sure right now, if I'm being honest." He said, "It's still up in the air. I'm trying to be out there for the guys, for my teammates, but I couldn't answer that question right now," end quote. Dan Campbell said, quote, "I know this about him. If he can play, he'll play." So I don't think it's going to be one of those things where he's going to wait till he's 100%. If he can go, he's definitely going to go. He's one of those players and one of those leaders on our team where I feel like, especially in the part of the season we're in, if he can make a difference on the field, he's going to be out there as much as he can be. St. Brown will need to continue improving, though, in the next 2 days in order to get to that point. It is a huge game for us as the Lions are 7-5, and then we're looking to remain competitive in the highly contested NFC North and just the NFC in general. St. Brown so far has caught 75 passes for 884 yards and 9 touchdowns through his 12 games this season. He's been a huge impact on our team. And just having him around makes our team better, right? He was the touchdown leader for a little bit this season. I think having him around just improves our offense tenfold, and having him for the Cowboys is going to be one of those necessary pieces if we're gonna want to go out and be dominant in that game. Next is Kirby Joseph. Detroit Lions safety Kirby Joseph is currently listed as questionable for the team's upcoming game against the Dallas Cowboys due to his knee injury that's just been persistent. That's better than out. He has gotten his first reps in this week, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's good to go. He intends to return this season, but has missed the last 6 games. He returned to individual drills in practice on Monday, December 1st, wearing a brace and was even seen with a limp. But he then again, like I mentioned, missed practice on Tuesday, which means he's getting better, but they're not pushing him every single day. He talked to the media for about 2 minutes and replied to 14 questions on Tuesday. He said, quote, "My knee messed up." Also, asked how he could fix it. Joseph said, quote, "You don't fix it, you just got to keep faith," end quote. And what I think he means by that, don't think that he's not doing like development or rehab or anything. I think all that means is that he's gotten some bad news. They think it's going to be going beyond the season, and all he's doing is keeping faith that, you know, everything is going to work out, that things are going to go his way, and that if it isn't going to, just completely impact his game for the rest of his career. He also said, quote, "I don't think it's necessary," or well, Dan Campbell said, quote, "I don't think it's necessarily going away, but I think you do the best you can to manage it. It's like a lot of these guys have gotten some injuries here or deals where it could be cartilage or meniscus or anything like that. It's you do your best to manage it, and there'll always be a little wear and tear, and it's just how bad it isn't." End quote. So yeah, it just seems like they're doing the best to take care of it, guys. Does it suck that we're missing him with an already damaged secondary? Yeah. Do you want him to just go out whenever? No. That was what kind of happened last time, and he re-aggravated his knee injury, and now it's where it is. I think Dan Campbell's taking care of it the best he can. I don't have any doubt that him and the rest of the staff are taking care of him. And Joseph, at 25, said that, quote, "He is blessed to be back at practice," and vowed if he is going to be out there, he's going to be 100%. He doesn't want to risk re-injuring it. I totally get it, especially when he's in a point of his career. He just recently got an extension. He's coming off of a huge season. He is at a pivotal point of his career, and he does not want to do anything to rush a process where it could take longer for him to get back in the game. Totally get it. That's what I got on those two guys. You guys let me know in the comments if you've heard anything about anyone else. And now we got some new guys on the practice squad. Tight end being one of those big spots. You got to bring some guys in. St. Brown might be out, so maybe bring another receiver in. We moved some guys to IR, so that means we got spots to fill in, right? Tight end Hayden Rushi. Rushi is the first guy we grabbed. It was the corresponding move that put Terrion Arnold on IR. So he goes right to the Lions' 53-man roster with Brock Wright looking like he's going to miss this week's game. The Lions could use more help at tight end. And the tight end this guy was actually undrafted free agent for the Dolphins out of Wisconsin last season. The Lions actually spent a week with him at the summer joint practice. I was actually at that one. Probably saw this guy, didn't know it was him. And they must have liked what they saw from him. Ruchi played 4 regular season games this year, and he played actually pretty well in those games, especially a pass and run blocker, definitely a blocking tight end. He had an 85.8 run block grade against the Lions in the preseason. So, if we need to throw him in, if we need to get him rotated, it seems like he could fit our scheme pretty well and get blocks going for our guys, because we know that a lot of our big yard gains come off of position players, skill players making blocks for their teammates. Next, we have Giovanni Ricky, same last name, or not same last name. One's with a U, one's with an I. He's actually a former West Michigan Bronco, and he's back in Michigan. He's been in the league for a while now. He spent most of his career with the Panthers, but also been with the Cleveland Browns, the Patriots, and most recently the Minnesota Vikings. Although he hasn't played a regular season game since 2023, and I don't know if that streak's going to end anytime soon. It just seems like he's in right now in case we need him. We have a wide receiver in Andrew Armstrong to the practice squad. He's an undrafted rookie that the Lions got to spend some time with when the Dolphins were in town, and like Rucci, they must have liked what they saw. Armstrong is a pretty big guy for a receiver at 6'4" and 210 pounds. The Lions might not see anything from him right now, but maybe he's a candidate for future deals. And we'll just have to see what we get out of him later, right? It's just one of those, hey, we got a spot. Let's get someone else on the squad, especially with Raymond and St. Brown kind of being questionable right now. Interestingly enough, though, Armstrong was actually Isaac Tesla's counterpoint at Arkansas last year. So who knows? Maybe there's a little bit of chemistry there. I really think he is just kind of a placeholder on our roster right now, but you never know. You could always have that guy who just tends to, or just randomly breaks out. And finally, we got a running back in Jabari Small. Small was actually with the Lions this summer, but was the odd man out because of Sailors being here and won the job from him. Craig Reynolds was around, and the two guys, Monty and Gibbs, weren't going anywhere. But now that Craig Reynolds is with the Patriots, it just felt like the right move to get an extra running back in the running back room. Because Craig Reynolds is out now, and Jacob Sailors isn't doing anything fantastic at special teams so far. That's what I got on our new guys. I think it's cool we signed some guys. If you have any news or any cool facts about any of these guys, please let me know down in the comments. It would be cool to know anything about these guys that I could, because that means I could be maybe rooting for them when I see them on the field. Finally, just a couple comments. Starting off with Joel Garza saying, people are saying Packers and Bears are going to be good for a long time. Plus, both two teams have great coaches. Very disappointed to hear if you're a Lions fan. Yeah, it's true, because there's always the cliche where it's like, oh, I want to be in a competitive division and makes better games. But realistically, you just want to win your games with no problem. Yeah, Ben Johnson going directly from us to a division rival was upsetting, to say the least. But I don't know. I think the Bears have definitely had a better season. But again, they're playing some pretty easy teams. Just throwing that out there. And the Packers look good, but they don't look totally perfect or necessarily refined yet. I think they just have a lot of talent on that team, and we made Jordan Love look really, really good both times we played him. So, yeah, definitely not our year in terms of playing them, but I don't necessarily think that it's one of those things where, oh gosh, there's two dynasties in our division. We got to be scared. I don't think it's to that point yet. Thanks for your comment anyways. And finally, I totally forgot to put the name of the commenter. I'm so sorry. It's from a couple videos ago. Maybe I think it's the last video actually. I'm just going to read the comment. Sorry, it says, I think we're cooked. I would maybe argue that we were more injured this year than last year. While our defense was wrecked last year, we kept the season alive and thriving because our offense was elite. This season, not only is our defense injured, but so is our offense. Even with a healthy offense, we just seem to not be clicking. I would argue that our injured defense is playing better than our healthier but injured offense. I realistically see the Lions winning 2 more games the rest of the season, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears beat us either at this point. Yeah, I mean, the Bears are playing really good football right now. I think it could be one of those retribution games, and they do just come out and play better football, play hungrier than us, especially with the position they're in. We'll just have to see with that. But yeah, it is kind of nuts that our healthier offense, despite missing some key roles in the interior line, yeah, they're just not playing at the same level. And some of that could be addressed to Ben Johnson. Some of that could be addressed to just taking a dip year. But it just seems like our hurt defense in most games are keeping the game alive for us. And that is kind of odd to me. Yeah, both this year and last year were riddled with injuries. But at some point, you got to start asking questions like, are we just going to let injuries be our excuse forever? That's how you let the Super Bowl window go? I'm not sure. Also, I think this one was Commando Witty. I think so. If I'm wrong, you guys can let me know. I'm sorry that I forgot to put your name. With that being said, though, well, thanks for your comment. We are out of time for this video. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Lions Latest. If you made it to this point of the video, tell me what your guys' opinions are on those new players we signed and whether or not you think some of these guys are going to be playing for Thursday. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a single video here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.